Hello, Shaky here, and welcome back to Modulus. Last episode we finished off redoing our white science area basically and creating data shards and basic bots to get them maxed out in delivery. So that's going to work in the background while we work on the blue section now. The blue section is over here, and we're going to basically clear out this area and see how much blue paint we can make in this area. And if I have room, I'll move some of it back. So right now we have 6 blue pigment extractors here, as well as 6 over here. So it's 12 total. We're going to see how much blue paint we can make out of that. The first thing I'm going to do is just copy these setups over to an empty island so that I have them for future reference. So we'll copy that and we'll just take down a blank island here just so we have it for future. Put it down there. That looks good there. That way I'll have it for future. And then we're also going to do the same thing with the core facility over here, the blue cores. We're going to copy this as well. Alright, so there's a stored copy of most of our stuff. We can reorganize it as we move it back. For now, we're going to come back over here and just clean up some room over here. We're basically going to stop this paint being made from now. And we're just going to come down here and delete most of the stuff. We're going to delete these cores. And we're going to see how much paint we can make out of these 12 blue extractors. Alright, so that gives us some room to work, but before we get started, let's hit up the tech tree, spend some of our hard-earned blue science. We're going to go up to the assembler section and see if we can buy the next level upgrades for all the factory equipment. So the basic assembler costs 120, gets up to 60 per minute. The cutter will be 60 per minute. It says question mark, I don't know what that means, but... And then we got basic stamper. We're going to grab the monotoner we can't do right now, so we're going to have to deal with that. We're going to speed up the painter. And we can speed up the dye mixer efficiency. It's going to make 3 paint per operation instead of 2. Super nice. And we might as well speed up the speed on it too. And then we come down here and we'll speed up the oil rig speed level 2. We'll give that some more oil. Instead of 60, we'll get 120. Nice. Still have 1,500 blue points to spend. I think we're going to hold off right now and just see what we can need it for later. Alright, so I think we're going to shoot for probably 4 of these to start with. That'll be enough to handle all these blue things. And if we find a good setup, we'll probably copy it and use these as well and make another set of blue paint. So we'll be making basically 2 full belts of blue paint. I believe these will put out 15 each, so we'll be making 4 of them will do 60 per minute. Okay, since the end goal is probably 8 of these things, I think we're going to work them in this area up here. That we can have a nice lineup of probably 8 blue pigment producers along this line here. So let's just go ahead and start moving stuff around and see if we can get everything up there. We're going to copy this set up here. Something like this, we'll rotate it around, just stick it up here for now. Get it cleaned up a little bit. And that would give us some room for some of these maybe. So it looks to be a little tight. Let's see if we can maybe move this horizontally instead. Something up here like this maybe. I would put this being moved as well. This section here would have to go up there as well. And that gives us plenty of room to put 8 of these things in, I think. You know, we could just copy the setup over this way and have plenty of room in here. So yeah, I'm just kind of roughing this out, but I think we'll do like 4 of these down this way maybe. See if we can get the materials distributed. Each building needs 4 different resources, so we have to have at least 4 conveyor belts, so probably 2 on this side, 2 on this side. Then we can put some down the middle, and then we could probably might as well take advantage of these since we built them. Something like that maybe. Then we can just copy this setup over here. Rotate it twice. Stick it down somewhere over here. All that we need to do is deliver. Let's see, this needs a full belt of materials. These 2 need a full belt of materials. So we need 4 full belts of polyrock. We could take 1, 2 from here. We got 3, 4 from here. or we can even take them from over here. We're also going to need the blue pigment from coming from over here as well. Alright, so let's just make sure we have enough to distribute all the parts needed for these things. So we'll have a belt coming down here with supplies to be delivered to the things, as well as a second belt of materials here. We'll have a third shape coming down over this way. And we'll have some paint coming up this way, or some blue pigment. And then same thing with this one, we'll have blue pigment coming this way probably. And another shape coming in down this way. And this one will have two belts of shapes being delivered to these 4 buildings as well. So it looks like we do have enough room for that. But now the thing we gotta make sure we leave room for is the harvest pads, because they can only do we have an upgrade to that? Can we do more than 2 buildings? We need to make it 4 to make it worth our while. Linked buildings 3. Well, we can do 4 with 1 harvester pad. Let's grab this one. So that means we could do all 4 of these buildings with 1 harvester pad. So we could probably stick a harvester pad at the end here, maybe. Something like that. So yeah, give me a second. I'm going to mine a whole bunch of polyrack, get it lined up here, and then we'll start distributing all the shapes. Alright, so it looks like it's going to take all polyrock on this island. We have 1 full belt over here, 4 miners, and then we have another 12 miners over here, which gives us a full belt of 3 full belts over here. So I took all that up here. We can divide this out accordingly. Like this can go into here. This will be this one and this one. This one can just come up into here. And this one needs a full belt because this is making 120 of the same shape. And then this one goes around to the other side here, comes down this one. This one is going to need split between these 2 machines. Like that. And this full belt one can come down in here and into there. Let's just apply everything in the correct ratios. These are just copies from what we had before. And then like this shape here should go, one shape should go to the back, so this one's closest, so we're going to send this one to the back here. And then the other 2 shapes should come out here and go into a splitter. And this belt just needs to run the other way. And same deal with this one here. This one can go probably, you can probably join these in here. Put a tunnel in here. And I just run this up to this way too. That should distribute all the shapes. Oh, we need this one as well. This is putting out what, 30, 60, so we can combine all these. So that should distribute all the shapes. We just gotta make sure we can get elevators in here. This shape needs 2 elevators, so we gotta make sure this one's the most important one. It stays up close to the thing so we get more elevators on it, because this one only needs 1 elevator per building. So we're gonna do the same thing on this side. And then the blue pigment, we can basically, we have all these connected to 1 belt here. That would be, they're each doing 20. So we have 6 of them, that's 120 full belt. We can bring them over to here, put in a tunnel. I guess we have to do the tunnel here. And into there. And then we're gonna have to grab some blue pigment from over here. And probably chase it down this way. Like that. Again, we have to do 2 of these because we can't. We gotta get that Skyliner upgrade. It's costing us too many of these connections. Something like that should work. Okay, those are all distributed now. So now we gotta do is add cranes to the building. So just start with this one up here. Add some cranes. We need 1 of each of these shapes. We need 2 of these shapes and 2 of these shapes. So I'll go through and do that for the rest of the buildings here. All right, the last one here, this side's a little different. We got to do 2 on this side for the blue pigment. Just one of these shapes. Then we need 2 of these guys. And only 1 of these guys. So let's get all the buildings being built, the correct shapes, then we can just go ahead and link these up. This can now do 4 buildings, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing over here. Link these guys up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice, so that should be, these are each be producing 15 per minute. So basically a full belt coming out of between the 2 of these, a full belt of blue pigment, which when you put in a paint mixer makes double, so we basically have 240 blue cubes per minute. Alright, we're going to turn all this blue pigment into paint, so let's grab the dye mixer here. I forgot we have a bonus to this now, so this creates 45 per minute, I believe. Yeah, it creates 45 per minute, so that's going to give us 360 blue paint out instead of 240. Super awesome. What we'll probably do is just do a splitter setup like this. Bring one blue pigment on one side, oil on the other side. And we're going to flip this guy like this. Put a belt out here, a belt out here. And we'll put like a tunnel in here maybe to get out. Something like that, so we could copy that down. I think we'll do 4 times. And then we could just mirror it. And put down 4 more of them. This would take up a full belt of blue pigment and a full belt of oil, and it would give us a full belt of paint out. That would be a full belt of paint right here. Actually, it's going to be way more than a full belt, right? 45. 45 is 90. 90 times 2 is 180. So we need 3 full belts out of here. How do we do that? 45 times 3 would be 120 is still... So these don't really work. We might need to lock the overflow splitter so we can deal with this. Alright, so what I think we're going to do is we're going to delete some of this here, because this isn't going to work. We're going to keep with the tunnel concept here. Let's see if we can move this down here. Let's offset it by 1. Let's see if we can get a tunnel in here all the way over to here. Nice, we can. Okay, so let's do that. And this one will tunnel out as well. I just need to mirror these. Let's just delete these from it. Copy this down here. Offset it by 1. Put the tunnel back in here. Put the tunnel in here. And this will be 1 belt out of 90. We'll do that 3 times. So this will come out to here. This will come out to here. This will come out to here. These are all belts of 90. We're going to take this last belt here. And we're going to do this thing where you split it once. Split it into 4. Take the 1 belt and wrap it back around. That should distribute evenly into 3. Then we can just combine these into something like this. That should be 3 belts of 120 coming out. Okay, made a quick modification. This one, we're just going to delete this one here. I just modified it slightly. Made this a little bit cleaner down here so it kind of just tunnels over each way over to each branch there and distributes the remaining 90 to 30 to each one, so that's good there. So now we can just move this into place and get 3 full belts of paint out. This up here. We'll just put it down here for now. Right there looks good. We'll grab some paint out of here, or some blue pigment. Let's just grab this over here. Let's tunnel our way over here. And down into here. That's not right. Let's delete that one. Clear these off. Got the wrong shape over here somewhere too. Yeah, let's delete the end ones. They always cause me trouble. Nice, that should fix that up. And then we can grab the oil from here. We actually need to put in a splitter here. And then we can we'll probably tunnel this around here. And then we'll grab the oil from here. And that should be the oil distributed. And that should give us all the paint. We gotta reverse these. I got some of these backwards, it looks like. All these backwards, actually. Alright, so we're gonna take one of these lines of blue paint and make cores out of it. I think we can make 4 buildings of cores out of that. I think. Let's just copy this over and see. This is the core setup right here. Let's grab all this for now. Wrong button. Copy it, not demolish it. I'll take this over here and just kind of get it set up. See if we have space to put it down. Yeah, good. So we'll rotate it down. Let's just clean this up a little bit. Let's see what we can do here. I'm going to delete this for now. Delete this for now. Get rid of these elevators. So we're going to rearrange this stuff, I think. Alright. So right here I see we can probably like tidy this up a little bit. We can probably delete this one here. Move this over one. We can just flip this one. Something like that. That'll make it a nice little bit tighter. And we can move all this stuff over now. Okay, so these buildings make 60 parts per minute of each shape. We need 120 of each shape, so we can do 4 buildings. So we're gonna have to copy this, but let's see if we can move this in place. And see if we can find a spot for it. I'm kind of thinking of tucking it in right here, maybe. I think that'll work, because we're gonna need room to paint the cubes over to the left here, so let's try putting it there for now. Let's see if we can copy this and do another setup. See if we have room for it. Let's just, I guess we'll probably mirror it and rotate it. So that would be like that. I believe we can make that work. Sneak some shapes in here, I think. But then we need 4 of these guys, so I don't know where we put 4 of these at. Possibly something like that. Alright, so we're actually going to try to flip this around because the cubes are going to come over from here. I think we're going to grab these 2 sets right here and take them over to the island here. That one there, and we have one over here we can grab. This one will have to come down, I think, like this. Over and out, and this one can just probably tunnel under it. And we'll figure out how to get these out of here, but so that means the shapes are going to come over this way, so we're going to have to paint them, but we'll bring the blue paint over this way and probably bring the shapes through here and then down. So let's just reverse this and see if we can make that work. Rotate it twice. Yeah, I think that looks better. Kind of. Alright, we're going to go with that right now. It's not the prettiest, but I think it'll work. Let's just go over here and put some tunnels in so we can get these belts out. Good there. I guess the belt's out here, and now we need to paint a full belt of these. So the painter is this one guy right here. And what does that require? 30 per minute. So we need 4 of these to paint the full belt. Alright, so there's 4 painters. They will paint a full belt of product. Let's move this in place. We'll rotate it like this, and Paint's going to come from over here, so I'll probably just do something like this. That should be fine, and we can probably just reverse the paint belt so that it comes out the other way maybe. We'll see. Let's get the paint over here. Let's take the first one here. That is going to be this one here. And can we make it over this jump here? No, it's too far. That is the paint going in there. We need a shape coming in here. There we go. And that's blue cubes coming out. That is our blue cubes coming out. Nice. This is the other cubes we need. And so let's see, the blue cubes need to go into which one? I believe it's this one here. Yeah, so it's this one here. Around, down in like that. And this one also needs to come down here to this one. And these will be the white cubes here, so we bring these back a little bit. And take these down here. Do some quick tunnels. And we need a splitter here. And we should be good. That should be making all the shapes we need. And now we just got to divide it to the factories here. So like this one will come down this way. So this island started out looking really nice, but it's getting a little crowded now. I mean, I like this how this laid out up here, but this is getting a little funky down here. But I don't know, we'll just go with it for now. So we got to put some cranes on these buildings here. We need 2 cranes per each shape. Can we get that here? We don't have enough to get it here. Get it on the side here. Get 2 of these. And we need 2 of these. All shapes for that one. We can grab this one, do the same thing. 2 of these. 2 of these. And 2 of these. So that works out good there. We do the same thing over here. I guess it's down here. Do 2 here and 2 here. I believe that should get us what we need. Okay, and finally we need a harvester pad. I think that we just put it in the middle here. See if it can keep up with all 4 of these. I guess something like that would be fine. Link it up to these buildings. Kind of a far way to travel, so I don't know if it's going to slow it down or not. We'll have to keep an eye on it. I think we're going to put a freight hub in here because we have 2 belts of blue paint we can transport somewhere, as well as these cores. Let's see if we can fit a freighter hub in here. Yeah, it fits in right here, nice. So we can probably just go up here. Drop paint in there. Drop paint in there, and then we can bring these cores up to here and into that one. Nice, that serves 480 paint each. And once this gets built, we'll start making some blue cubes. Or some blue cores. Oh, we got the problem over here that we aren't transporting enough of these. Because these can only do 60. Can we upgrade that? I think we're going to have to spend the money and upgrade that. Speed upgrades right here, yeah. Let's do it for 120. I still have to fix that problem. We can get rid of some of these now. Nice, okay, that should fix that problem up. So that is actually blue cores, advanced blue cores done. So next episode we'll work on the blue data shards and the blue androids. So thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.